Ohio Chautauqua is a traveling living history program. This is the way the Ohio Humanities Council can touch Ohioans' diverse audiences and bring the humanities to them rather than wait for them to come to the humanities. So traveling living history is, again, the way to get across the state, but it's also interesting. It's not like a boring, lecture by a professor somewhere where people won't come, and if they do come, they're sleeping halfway through it. This is really dynamic, and it's a way for people to reach out and touch history. And that's what we're really hoping to get out of that. To give the details of Ohio Chautauqua, we come into each community for 5 nights, 5 days of entertainment. We have one living history performer each night in costume, in character, on the stage, under the big red and white Chautauqua tent. And during the day we have workshops by these scholars. Each scholar does one workshop for youths and one for adults. You schedule them how you want. But we do that in venues throughout the community, and that's another way that we can reach people who perhaps might not come to the tent itself.
For those of you who have never been to Ohio Chautauqua or Chautauqua Performance, you know this is edutainment. So it's educational, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's a real treat.
Well, I always think of Chautauqua in general as being synonymous with lifelong learning. And that was the original purpose of Chautauqua when it was set up in the late 1800s in New York. The idea was that people could come together in a festive setting, in an enjoyable, relaxed setting, and learn about issues, about people from the past, about important events. And so that Chautauqua tradition has been shaped through the state Chautauquas that now exist. And Ohio Chautauqua has been one of the leaders in creating this whole festival atmosphere with the tent and a particular theme, and going after scholars who can contribute to a community in a way that they'll be enriched and retain something of value.
First year when people came, the #1 question was, what's Chautauqua? And you will do all the promoting in the world, and you can tell all the people what a Chautauqua is, but until they experience it the first time, it really makes a difference.
It's a great experience. It's lively, there's a lot of interaction, there's questions and answers at the end, in character and out of character as well. And just need to come and try it and see. There's a lot of people attend this, and once they come, they're hooked. So it's a lot of fun, all ages.
Well, I think it gives me and our children a chance to see history live, actual people, taking them into character, and then it took me a while last night to kind of get into it, but after there, you felt like that was exactly who she said she was supposed to be, and that's who you saw. And I just think from that standpoint, and it did make me want to go ahead and look up more of Eleanor Roosevelt and see what she was as a woman and as a wife.
It's very interesting. As I was growing up, history meant nothing to me. I learned to memorize dates and times and things like that. And as I get older, history means something. And hearing it from the mouths of the people who were there and who made the history makes it that much more interesting.
Chautauqua is one of the most unique experiences that we have here. There's nothing like it at all. We have a nice venue for it, to have the great big red tent in the middle of our town. All the events are free. It's just an event that we have nothing that compares to it. It's in the summertime, the weather is nice, and people come out. They just enjoy sitting in a wood chair under a big tent and learning about people that they've read about and have some familiarity with. It's an educational experience, and that doesn't even include all of the workshops. The workshops that go on that same week are educational. Our local library, I'll say, just rolls the carpet to the curb, literally. They have a great venue for young people to come, and the participants talk about their character, and it just creates a buzz in our community every time they come.
Well, it is a #1 question. What is it? And actually, Chautauqua is best explained by first-person character drama. And for me, personally, what it is, Jan, it's putting that drama, history, and acting all together under one tent. And I think it's great because even I, as a college graduate, there's always something to learn. And you can take every character and learn something from them. So it's been enjoyable. And I will say something about the adult and the youth workshops. That's a different setting, but that's a place too to where you can experience a little bit more of a leisure learning experience. It should work different than it does. By nature, what people do, and we're all guilty of this, by nature, we come, we see who we know. Well, actually, you should come and learn from the characters that maybe are a little bit less known. And you really, when you're doing Chautauqua, part of what the overall goal is to educate and to teach. That should be the goal of Chautauqua, is to learn from the lesser known characters. So don't be afraid if you have a character that's a little bit lesser known. Don't be afraid to publicize that, and don't be afraid to go out and see it, because you can learn from the characters that you may not know much about.
Let me begin though by telling you that I became interested in doing this because I saw someone do this kind of portrayal. I was an audience member, just as hundreds of people here are going to be audience members, and I was captivated by the idea that I could experience what it was like to be in the presence of some great person from the past. But essentially, to create a character, it takes at least a year of intensive research and work, preparation. Often though, those of us in the business say, you might get a character ready in a year, but it's often more like 2 years or 3 years before that character feels seasoned and comfortable for you. Well, it's often the case that audience members who are coming to Chautauqua will pick a character who's well known. Abraham Lincoln, for example, Eleanor Roosevelt will draw a large crowd. But I think it's important, in keeping with this idea of lifelong learning, that people who come to Chautauqua be open and willing to learn about a character whose name may not be so familiar, and who offer a chance to really broaden their level of knowledge about American history or literature or whichever field, whichever discipline that character represents.
Well, I think this year is finally paying off. We're seeing a lot of people from out of town here spending nights in hotels and spending dollars here because they have to eat while they're here. And even if they don't spend a night, they're coming back, they're driving down here, so they're buying gas before they go home. So we're seeing those kind of dollars. And I don't know how you put a number on that, but we know that we've seen more people this year here from out of town than ever before. That's the financial benefit, I guess, from doing something like this. But we're not doing it for that. We saw this event in 2004 in Greenfield, and I tell this story, and it's really the reason that we do this Chautauqua, because we wanted to bring it to after we saw it in Greenfield, we wanted to bring it here so the people of Gallipolis and Gallia County could experience that live theater that we don't get, and especially we don't get for free. These people that come here the last 2 nights and each of the nights the two previous years we've had it, it's free to them, and that's the important thing, because we're giving something back to the community that has been good to us. And it's a group of people. There's 4 of us who do this and put it on, and we have great sponsors, and those folks have chipped in good money, and we don't have to go out and nickel and dime people to death. We were able to get 4 or 5, actually 4 people to come up, step up and say, here's real money for you. So now we've got all the expenses basically covered. We've got other people putting money in, making donations at the end of the night, just to cover little things that we might have to come up that we're not aware of. And our little concession stand is a donations only operation. And those kind of things make it really neat for people, because they're not nickel and dimed when they get here. They can, if they want to come in here and sit free for watch this thing for free, then they're welcome to do that.
Last night, under the tent, the guest MC asked how many people were from 100 miles or farther, and there was probably 50 hands that went up in a crowd of 300 plus people. So it's a great economic impact. It puts people in the hotels, it fills the restaurants, and it provides the city a little boost in the economy. It costs you nothing. And you know, today, in today's economy, where can you find a value-added performance? Whether that's drama, whether that's music, history, where can you find an event like this that is free? And that is just it's a great opportunity, and thanks to sponsors, we can provide that to our people free.
I don't think there's any question that Chautauqua has far exceeded our expectations. I mean, the experience here from our institution and the whole community has just been marvelous. And I would say from our perspective, we're in the banking business, it's been an investment in the community.
To help us celebrate the bicentennial of our county, Ohio Chautauqua is coming to Coshocton July 19th through 23rd in 2011 with a free week-long performance schedule and workshops focusing on the Civil War. Audience members will enjoy first-person performances from such Civil War characters as Abraham Lincoln, Major Martin Delaney, Mary Chestnut, Mary Edwards Walker, and Harriet Tubman. We hope to see you there.